Hi crafters, welcome back and thanks for joining me today. This is Jonna with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to be making this pop-up card down the inside. These two, it's kind of hard to see, but they do pop up from the card. And they look like they're standing on little ledges or little shelves. So these are two elves that I hand drew. This card measures 5 by 7. So let's get started. So the first thing we'll need is our scoreboard. And for our base piece, we're using just a regular red cardstock. This is going to be cut at 10 by 7 centimeters, will be on the top left side. Then we're going to score this at 5 inches on the 10-inch side. Then we will need 3 pieces, and these are pattern paper, and these are all cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Then we will need 2 pieces, and these are cut at 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then we're going to score these both, and we're going to score these at 1/2, 1 1/2, and 2. And you'll want to do that on both pieces. So you have that. You have your 3 score marks. So we'll set those aside. Then you need 2 pieces, and these are going to be cut at 4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. Then we will need 2 pieces. These are 4 by 1/2, and this is just scrap paper from the pattern paper that we're using. Okay, so we're done with our scoreboard. So we're going to move that out of the way. And we're going to work on the base piece of the card. So I'm going to take 3 of the pieces out and make sure that the pattern is going the same direction. So I want to make this just like this. So those are going to be the inside, and the other outside will be a different direction, but it'll be okay. Now I already put my parent tape on here, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly fasten these 2 designer pieces onto the inside on each side, the left and the right of the card. I'm going to stop that for just 1 second. I forgot to fold this, so I'm going to fold this and crease it out just so I can see that fold line, so that when I'm putting the designer paper down, I can see where the crease is, so I get it even. All right, so that is folded. And then we'll put this piece on this side. Okay, I'm just making sure it's lined up before I lay it down. And then just pull those tabs out. And then I'm just using my phone folder just to crease out that. Make sure the tape is stuck down. And then we'll put this next piece on. So the pattern does line up for the inside of the card. And then again, I'm just going to make sure it's on there evenly, kind of line up my lines. And then once I have it down, just go ahead and pull those tabs. Just like that. And then I'm just, again, using the bone folder just to make sure the glue is secure. So next we're going to work on the little mechanism on the inside. So we're going to take the 2 smaller pieces and then the 2 bigger pieces. And these pieces here will be just put on the top there, and it's just to give it just a little bit more color on the inside and just give it just a little bit of variety. So for these ones that we scored, we're just going to go ahead and let me just move this out of the way. We're going to just score these. So crease those out. And you're going to do it all in the same direction, so they'll all be valley folds. So you'll end up with a piece like that. So you have 2 pieces, and we're going to put one at the top and one at the bottom. So we're going to glue just the side that has the 1 score mark. And we're going to glue it to the bottom of the card, and then we'll glue the other one at the top. And then it's going to fold to the left, and the top one's going to fold to the right, and then these pieces will lay on top of there. So just like that. And you just want to make sure they don't extend over the outside of the card. And then we'll put that little piece on the top of that. And then we're going to put our little elves on the card. And then the elves will be sitting, one will be facing up, and then one will be facing down. So kind of like that. So you just want to make sure your characters are not too big for the inside of the card. So that would be the layout that we're going to do. So let me move those out of the way. So again, we're going to start with the mechanism. We're only going to do the one tab. I'm just going to grab my glue. And so we're going to put glue on the one end. And then I'm just going to lay this glue side down and just line it up with the edge of the card. And I'm going about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. You could go all the way to the bottom of the card, but I'm just going to give it just that little bit of room. And then you want to make sure it's lined up with the crease on the fold. And then just push out that glue. You just want to make sure it's totally straight when you line it up. And then we'll do the other one going the other direction. And I'm going to put about the same distance from the top, so about 1/4 of an inch from the top as I did it on the bottom one. I think we're going to the opposite side this time. So just lay it down, line it up with the fold of the card, and make sure it's straight. And then push out that glue. Now for the other side of it, to glue the other side down, you want to lay it flat. So you're going to fold it on that second score line. So you have 2 score lines showing. Just glue the one last tab. I'm going to put glue on both of them. Then I'm just going to pick up the card. I'm going to hold those just so they're flat and then just close the card on itself. And then just push those tabs. And then when it opens, you will see it'll look just like this. If you can make these bigger, the bigger you make that first and last tab is how far they will stand outside of the card. So you can have them further out of the card. I made mine pretty close, but you can make it go 1 inch out. Just remember that whatever the length is, it's got to match so you're not sticking out of the side of the card. All right, so those are done. We're going to glue the red pieces, the extension pieces on. It's easier if you just lay it down next to the piece and then make sure it's lined up. And then I'm just going to put glue on that one flap on the piece that we had already glued, and just that big top section. And I'm just going to line up the piece next to it and then just push the card closed and just glue it down. And as you can see, it'll stick up just like that. And then we'll do the other side. So we're just going to turn the card the opposite direction and do the same thing because we want it to go the opposite way. And then once you have it down, just close it and then secure that glue. Perfect, just like that. Okay, next we're going to glue these little pieces on, and again, it's just to add just a little bit more color onto here. So I'm just going to make sure these are lined up. I'm actually going to use tear and tape on these, so I just quickly stopped and put some tape on here. And I'm just going to start at one corner and making sure the edge is lined up with the edge, and then fasten it down. And if it sticks over, you can go ahead and just cut it down if you've made it too big. And then we'll do the other side. Again, we're going to do the top on both sides. Perfect. So this is what the inside of the card will look like with the mechanism. Next, we're going to glue down our elves. So we're going to put one on the left side. And I'm just going to glue just his 1 foot. And then I'm just going to glue that down. I want him on the paper. And I want to make sure I don't get him over that edge of the card when it's open. And make sure that it closes. And then we'll take the other elf. I'm going to hang him upside down. And again, when you glue this, you want to make sure that it doesn't, because this is going to pull out towards the edge of the card. So if you glue it too far, it'll stick out from the card when the card is closed. So as I glue this here, I'll show you. So when you close the card, as you can see, it's just a little bit too far. So I'm just going to slide it over just a little bit. Check it again. If it's still out, I'm just going to this time lift it up and move it over just a little bit more. And then again, make sure it doesn't extend outside the card. And then I'll just clean up that glue. Right, so that's for the inside of the card so far. Next, I have a string of lights, and the lights are from a Karen Burniston set a couple years ago. I will link that in the comments in the video. So I just made these double-sided, so there's two on each side, so I could flip the lights around. And right now I'm just kind of laying it out, seeing where I want it. You want to make sure that the string is not too tight, so when the card is fully open, it will not pull on the string, and when it's closed, it doesn't sag too much so that it doesn't get caught and then rip when you open it. So as I lay this out, I'm just going to lay it out and figure out where I want the lights, and I'm going to secure the lights down. And then again, making sure that I've got enough give on it so that it'll open and close. This would be cute. You could do this with a couple of different characters. I just thought the lights and the elves would be cute together, like they were, causing mischief. And then for the rest of it, just to extend the lights, I do have some extra lights. These are only one-sided. I didn't do these double because they were going to just lay flat. So I'm just going to put just a couple more just to extend the lights all the way out. We'll do one more. And I cut all of these in white cardstock, and then I just used my alcohol markers and colored them in, and then used a white gel pen to make the little highlights. I'm going to cut this string, and this is very hard to see, but I actually made the little end of the light that plugs in and the other side very, very, very tiny. I know it's very hard to see. And I'm just going to glue that to the end of the string to end the string, and then we'll glue one on the other side. See, I don't know if you can see it. It's very tiny. And then we'll take the other side of the string, and we're just going to just fasten that down and then put the end plug on it. This side I just did just a tiny, tiny square. So that is the inside of the card. Then for the outside, we're going to glue that other last piece of the designer paper on here. Again, I have my double-sided tape already on here. So I'm going to lift those pieces up. And then we're going to lay this down. Now, if it's easier, go ahead and open the card so it will lay flat so that you can make sure that your paper is flat. And then once you have it down, just pull those tabs again and then secure it down. Okay, now for the very front of the card, I have this little sign, and it's just a little square. I used my corner punch to punch it. I will put that in the comments, the punch itself. And then I took the white and just stamped "Have yourself a Merry Little Christmas." I'm just putting a piece of glue on here. I'm going to take some extra string that I have, and I'm just going to start it. Then I'm going to put this white piece on top, make sure it's even all the way around the border, and then I'm just going to wrap this around just a couple of times. I'm just going to wrap it just enough so that it's got some string on the front. I'm going to cut it off and then glue that down just to secure it. So just like that. And then right now I'm just going to take and put some glue just around the edges, since we really didn't glue that down, just to make sure that it's glued. And then I have some more of the lights, and I'm just going to glue just a couple of these just around on the front of this sentiment, just to give it just a little bit more character. And then again, I just color these with the markers, and then I did the ends all green just so it would match the string that I was using. I think that's all we will do on this one, so that looks pretty good. Then we're going to secure this just to the front of the card. Now you could do a dimension on this just to make it a little bit thicker, but I don't want to make my cards too thick so that it's easier to ship them or mail them. So we're going to put glue on the back of this piece. And then we're going to secure this just to the center of the card. So I'm just going to line this up, just hoping that I get this right in the center. It's hard to see from the angle that I'm sitting, but just about there. All right, so that is the card that we made today. This is a very quick card, but it's a fun card where you can add a lot of dimensions. Again, remember on the inside, if you want it bigger, just make your pieces stick out a little bit further. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so. Also, remember to follow me on Facebook. Enjoy your day. Happy crafting and hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.